Eskoffie is the name of a famous chef, but also a range of mini containers, sautoirs, sauteuse pans, line head bowls. I'm going to use them to take a trip back to my childhood. You'll see, really simple, but very tasty. First of all, we need to prepare the courgette. This is really simple and easy. We're going to cut a nice slice from the green part, nice and gently with a mandolin. Be careful not to slice your fingers. Next, I'm going to chop up the slice. We're going to make nice little cubes. Diced courgette, there we go. I'm going to put that to one side and saute them quickly. For the rest of the courgette, just chop it into 4. It doesn't have to be neat. Next, I'm going to slice it quite finely to use as the base for our soup. There we go. My courgettes are cooked. I'll add the Laughing Cow cheese and then put it all in the blender. My soup is blended and now I'll pour it back into the pan to cook. We'll heat it up at the last minute, then add our diced courgettes that we've sauteed earlier and serve them in the little line head bowls. Now let's go on to the ham for the spirali. Just normal ham slices. Slice them as we did with the courgette earlier. Now I'm going to keep a little back for the garnish later and add the rest to my spirali, which are cooked and still warm. A little mascarpone to give it that creamy flavour and bind everything together. There we go. Don't add too much. We don't want it to be too liquid. It just needs to bind everything together. A pinch of salt, some pepper. My spirali are ready. I'll keep the ham for later. Now let's move on to the rest. We'll make the meatballs. They are very easy. Begin by cracking an egg. Add the meat. I'm not going to use my hands right away. I'll just use a fork to begin with. Mix the meat and egg thoroughly. Now add a pinch of salt and some pepper. It needs to be seasoned well. At the beginning, it's a little tedious, but you'll see it soon begins to mix nicely. The mixture is almost perfect. Now I'm going to add my breadcrumbs. Leave it to rest for about 15 to 20 minutes, just until the egg and meat are well bound by the bread. The bread will absorb any excess moisture, and now we can make the meatballs. There we go. My meatballs are ready. Tomato sauce, it can be homemade or bought. It's up to you. We're going to put some tomato sauce at the bottom of the dish. Place the meatballs carefully on top. All cold, really, at the beginning. Everything should be cold. A little tomato sauce over the top of the meatballs to make sure they are nice and moist below and above. Cook on a low heat. Don't let it boil. Just simmer it gently until the meatballs are cooked. I've cooked 5 so that I can taste one. Now let's serve everything. Now quickly heat the cream of courgettes. We want it just warm, so don't let it boil. Now pour it carefully into the little Eskoffie bowl. Fill them halfway. Then carefully add the diced courgettes that were sauteed earlier. Finish with a drizzle of olive oil. And to keep it warm, of course, put the lid on. Courgettes done, now onto the pasta. 2 spoonfuls into the middle of the dish. Carefully sprinkle the diced ham on top. There we go. A pinch of fleur de sel, a drizzle of olive oil for the indulgence and shine. Ham pasta in my Eskoffie dish. Done! Final step, the meatballs and the tomato sauce. They're cooked. Remember not to boil them, just simmer them in the tomato sauce. Serve them in the mini Eskoffie pan. Be generous, a nice spoonful of tomato sauce. Carefully, there we go. Tap gently, it'll spread nicely. For some colour and flavour, freshly chopped parsley. My little meatballs in tomato sauce in the Eskoffie pan, done. Spirali, a soup and meatballs. But with the Eskoffie dishes, they look really refined and very unique.